We play and call it work.
Hey there, wargamers, and welcome to another episode of the Open Vault. Today you get something that's on YouTube as well, because typically we do these shows that I do my walk around in the Open Vault, and then there's another part that we keep behind our paywall.
Okay.
And, you know, that's where I typically, you know, do another show for the Vault members and try to show off something fun. But this week, because we have Ted from the Gof Rockerz, we want this to get as much exposure as possible, because you guys are fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you.
And, yeah, so this is going out on YouTube, so YouTube viewers, you guys get double the content today. Vault members, don't worry. It'll be back to normal format next week, and you guys get your videos as per usual. So, like I said, Ted from the Gof Rockerz has come in. And who else came with you?
Tyler, he's kind of, I don't want to call him a roadie. You're gonna see this, but he helps out with stuff. He he played saxophone on the Garage Smack.
Oh, okay.
Mini CD, and he just basically he helps out a lot, and he'll fill in where we're needed and help out with things.
Okay. So I'm sure, as you've noticed, there is a gigantic orc head here. So if you guys are not familiar with the Gof Rockerz, which you guys have, you know, been to Adepticon and other events like that, right?
Yes.
And you guys try to travel around and do as much as exposure as possible?
Correct.
So, you guys have full-on orc costumes.
We do.
That being the head, and you guys have the full bodies. Now, did you guys make all these yourself?
The costumes themselves, like the torsos and the boots, those type of things we made. The masks were made by Bud Crud, is what he goes by. He's out of Austin, Texas. He made a War Boss costume for the Austin's Halloween thing. I saw it, and I glommed onto it, and I pretty much taunted him until he agreed to make the masks for us.
Fantastic. So let's get into the band a little bit. You guys are the Gof Rockerz.
Correct.
Members of the Gofs.
Yeah, kind of. Originally, my concept was we were freebooters, but really,
the name worked better, or
yeah, you know, traveling around on the spaceship, the Space Hulk, the boot. And we play concerts, and when our concerts finish, that's when the Orc Boys go to war.
Cool. Yeah. So you're kind of the theme music.
Sure, absolutely.
Get them all fired up.
Correct.
Right before the battle begins.
Right.
That's super cool. Now, how did this concept come up? Was this more of musicians who liked the game?
Sure.
Or is this gamers who wanted to make music?
Originally, it was centered around Adepticon. Every year I was doing a tournament, the Battlefleet Gothic tournament, and I was trying to one-up myself.
Okay.
Sort of. And one year I was down the Orcs and the Tyranids, and I skipped the Orcs because I wasn't ready. I couldn't quite figure out what it was that I wanted to do with it. And then one day I was in the shower, and like all good ideas, they come about in the shower.
Yep, they're either in the shower or laying down before bed, right?
I'm trying to visualize, you know, what am I going to do? When am I going to finally get off, you know, get this started? And I started thinking about the whole, if you've read the Battlefleet Gothic, for all those that are fans of Battlefleet Gothic, here in the book, the orcs chant, here we go, on the ship, and they're doing all that, and I'm chanting at my head, and I'm like thinking out a song we could do, and then I'm like, hey, wait, I can play guitar. And it's kind of something that kind of escaped me to ever marry the two, kind of like that. And I got out of the shower and I started writing. Actually, I started writing the lyrics for Die With Me Scum and stuff like that. And we nailed the first 6 songs on Live from the Boot pretty quick after that. And I brought them there. The plan was just to kind of bring it as, you know, people bring crazy stuff to augment their thing.
Of course.
Was just to have some songs to do that with. The band wasn't actually even supposed to work. The people that played the instruments, like, it just wasn't going to work with the actual models that were represented.
Okay.
So it's kind of gotten out of control since then.
It's kind of been that one idea that's snowballed to this point.
Correct.
So after you had that first idea, who did you go to, and how did you even start to propose this idea to other people? Because I can understand that this might be a kind of out there thing to pitch to people, and somebody might start looking at you like, wait, you want to do what?
Sure. Well, I still kept it from really being a live thing. Even when we did Orgasmatron, that was around the team tournament, where we proposed an idea of having the four mechanics and having the four the four Big Macs build this giant orgasmatron, and the band would play in the belly there. And then that became also an easy concept. The concept there was that we looted the songs for it, because we looted the materials to build the Titan. So it was a very orc heavy theme like that. And even throughout that, the theme was around that Gazgul Magurak Thraka commissioned us to play this concert to christen the turning on, if you will, the birth of this Titan orgasmatron.
That's
and even at that point, there was no. I mean, really, that was another thing to have something for
another Adepticon.
We didn't have the costumes at that point yet either, so it just kind of kept going from there.
Okay, and then at what point did you realize, no, we need to make this a live
we need
thing?
To play. It might have even been, like I said earlier, when I saw Bud and I saw his costume, because it had been pitched around, a little bit. It'd be cool to do this live. Because I'd seen some other bands do some stuff, and people who do things, various themes, and they do it without like the full costume or something, and it just didn't seem, in my eyes, I'm like, this isn't going to work. If we get on stage and we play these songs, it's not going to make any sense. And maybe it still doesn't make sense to some people who walk in, but it's definitely not gonna, it's without being those characters, it's not gonna fly. So it slowly just kind of evolved. And when I saw Bud, for sure, and I talked back with Joe, who's our producer, the guy who produces all the recordings, and I'm like, we look, this is the guy, right? Yeah, this is the guy. We got to get to kind of bring that aspect of it to life, because we figured we could do the rest of the stuff, building with foam and stuff. We did.
Yep.
The translation from miniature to the costumes, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's not a million-mile leap.
It's still working with paint, still.
Right,
the ideas, the conceptualizing projects.
Sure. Yeah.
So
in and of itself, but the mask was a bridge too far. I didn't want to go out there and have this. I knew my mask would look subpar for what we were trying to do, so I definitely wanted to find someone to do at least the masks. I was confident in the ability to do the rest of the stuff, the spiky things, the foam and things. I was confident in the ability to do that. So,
but the actual, because what is that exactly made of? Do you know?
It is made out of latex. It's a mold. I've seen the molds. They're huge. They look like cocoons. You go in the room and they look like the alien pods gonna open up. They're massive.
Oh yeah.
They're massive. Because I went down to Austin just kind of see the process and talk to Bud a little bit. And Krog, the knob, the bass player, his is bigger too. So his was even just ridiculous, just massive, They're heavy, like they're really heavy. And he pours them in, and I forget how you hold them tight, but then you got to kind of crack them apart, and he peels them out. So, for example, this is one of the older ones. Actually, he's working on new ones, because we just did a new one for the drummer.
Ooh.
That has a bike helmet instead of a football helmet.
Okay, so right now I can kind of see it when I look down in there.
It's a football helmet.
There's actually, you can see the padding and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty. It's not light. So, as we go to and as we learn, it's hard enough, whatever, getting in the costume and that, but anything you do to make it a little more comfortable.
For sure.
So, we're working on those things all the time, improving the whole.
Yeah, you guys were talking about some of the kind of experiences you've had with hot weather and things, in putting that gigantic mask on, painting yourself green.
Yeah, a little bit of green, just mostly on the hands. We talked about that too, process to improve those kind of things as well. But yeah, we were at Gen Con this year.
Okay.
By the time we got done, it was ridiculously hot out that day, and the shirts were just
wring out the sweat.
It was nasty. So
that is just the amount of passion you guys have to actually put yourself through that is fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
No, it's super duper cool. I know I've heard of bands being based off 40K, but I've personally never met you guys, and I know that some of the other people here met you guys at Adepticon.
Sure.
So we kind of talked about the band and the theme and stuff, but I guess one of the questions that people have out there: do you still play, or do you play, and how?
We played 2 shows as recently in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We played in Milwaukee and we played in Manitowoc. So far, we got kind of a standing gig in Manitowoc every year. They do a Wendigo Fest. It's a Halloween theme type, so we fit in right there. The one in Milwaukee after Market Macabre, so we fit in there too. And those are cool. And that gives an opportunity to kind of like a different crowd. Like a lot of those people wouldn't know 40K from their, from a hole.
For sure, that's such a different crowd.
Sure.
But I guess for the Halloween theme, it kind of fits, right?
The people, yeah, they love it, you know, and it works. So, you know, we do that type of thing, and just yes, and we keep pushing to play at Adepticon. So, and we're hoping to make that work, whether that be at Adepticon or someplace near there when it's going on.
Oh,
itself.
okay. Whether it's you actually get a show there, or whether it's at another location during that weekend.
Correct, when everybody's in town and there. So
for sure, because that would be fantastic. Getting while all the 40K fans are all there.
Exactly.
Be a great outlet for that. Now, how often do you guys actually still play 40K, or is that something you guys do often, or has this kind of taken over?
Not really taken over. I mean, we've been playing a lot more kill team and smaller type stuff.
Okay.
So the games are shorter.
More pick up and play.
Yeah,
and
not as intensely involved. Because, there's a lot of time that goes into doing this and getting practice in and everything else. Like, I'm painting up Speed Freaks right now, obviously.
Oh, I mean,
that was done.
Of course you have to, right?
Because, who knows, maybe, we'll have a record based on that. I'm not saying whatever. But
maybe.
But, so, because that fits more into the time frame and what we can kind of commit to.
Oh, for sure.
Things. So,
because now, is this your full-time job, or do you have? Okay.
No, that's not full time. I do other techie stuff.
I was gonna say, so at your other job, does anyone know that this is something you do on the side?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. We show up in costume. The one show that I said is actually very close. It's like 2 blocks. The Wendigo Fest is only 2 blocks from where we work.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, people are aware. People are very aware. Yeah.
I mean, that's so funny. And how do people, coming from like the response of people outside the hobby?
Oh, sure. It varies. Sometimes it's very funny because some people are just like completely freaked out. Like if you go walk up to them and you're in costume, it just totally freaks them out. But for different people, it's different things. Like some people, they think you're Warcraft. They think you're this. They think you're that. They don't know anything. They think you're trolls. They think you're orcs. I really, or whatever. I really don't try to push that too hard. The people who get it will get it, and the people let people have it be what they want it to be.
Okay.
As long as they're having fun and they enjoy it. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Awesome. So now we have some of your albums in front of us. Do you want to talk to us about some of those?
Sure. I think I talked about the first one, Live from the Boot. So that's all original tracks. That's supposed to be 6, and it's played out like live. So here we go. Starts the orcs are chanting Gof Rockerz, Rockerz, and we come on the stage. And by the time the thing ends, you hear squig pipes and we're clearing out, and everybody's going to wah. That's what's going on. Orgasmatron, 6 looted tracks. We cover Testament on there. Parody. We say cover, but they're looted. Okay. They're parody.
Yep.
Black Sabbath. We do the mob roll. Zagan Hostile, a little bit of Pantera. Gazgul is a Gof Rockerz. So get the Ramones.
Yep.
War Mechanics, which was Metallica. We were gonna do like a Megadeth Metallica mashup, and we kind of ended up being more Metallica than Megadeth. But we cut some stuff out too. We don't necessarily we kind of make the song fit. And then Orgasmatron, which is the title, which is a Motorhead song, which is more inspired by like the style that Sepultura did it.
Okay.
Blood Bowl, which is inspired by the game Blood Bowl,
of course.
Where and the theory behind that, or the concept behind that, is that the boys showed up, at a planet, and they discovered the game Blood Bowl, and they took to 2 teams, the Ludas and the Black Skull Raiders, and they both. So we have a back and forth where one part of the band is siding with this team and the other side is supporting that one.
Cool.
And then we got the gentlemen from Slurpcast. Actually, they do a Slurpcast. They do a gaming podcast. It was a Blood Bowl podcast, and we got them to do the voices.
Oh, that's
the color commentary.
That's cool.
So in the middle of the song, there's a color commentary that goes on back and forth, and then it fits up. So that one was a lot of fun. And the B side, we just did a Die When We Scum off of the original. Then that was kind of the plan. We'd redo some different stuff until we got actually Gargant Stomp, which is the latest one we did.
Okay, and that's that one there?
That's one's right there. And this one gets a little crazy. The original, so there's a song Gargant Stomp itself, but on the guitarist suggested, we'll call him Brock, Garbut, the other guitarist, suggested doing Orc Rockstar, parody of Rock Lobster by B-52s, and the words barely left his mouth, and I was like, that is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. So we ran with that and decided to make the B-side on Gargant Stomp. The concept behind Gargant Stomp was we were, once again, a lot of the, traveling around space, we come across different stuff. We don't know where we're going until we get there. And in this case, we came across a signal of some band talking trash, and it turns out they're Godsmack. And that's this 3-song mini CD, and it's this is nobody in the band, actually. We got various people. Nobody that's in the band. But we got because we did a drum machine, we did a saxophone. It's crazy, and I got my good friend Dave, who's got this high-pitched, insane voice, and it is 3 of the most awful songs you've ever heard in your life, and we're very proud of that.
I love it.
And Godsmack is on the cover of the art, and I'd like to also shout out to Francisco, who does all of our art. He does a fantastic job ever since on the newer stuff and going forward since we've been doing the vinyls.
Okay.
And he did a great job in this one too. I don't know, can you see this very well if I flip it over? Maybe a little bit. Maybe it's hard to tell, but
I was gonna say you can
try to flip it over, because he did on the front. So you got, I don't know if this is gonna translate, but down there that's Godsmack. This is me, where's Egg Skull up in the top driving as we're getting our payback at them, and this is us as they're stomped and we're walking away.
That's funny.
He does a great job.
I love the little art style of that.
Yeah, it fits the theme out, so
for sure
helps a lot.
So one of the things I didn't actually cover was what are all of your names? Because I've been noticing that you all have.
Sure. Krog Gorkrieg is the bass player. Morgoth Bad Gof is the drummer. War's Egg Skull, that's me. Fast Death Head, something that translates to something. It's also kind of similar, I think, to one of the. There was a Zag Skull, isn't there? I think there's a Warhammer character with a similar name.
Oh, okay.
And then Brock Garbutt. He's the other guitarist. And so the names, right? The original idea was, originally I was going to do all the names some type of goth, kind of like the Ramones. Everybody's like Joey Ramone, whatever.
And have that be the theme.
Ramone. And then I was at a hockey game, and I saw the back of these jerseys, some Czechoslovakian players. And these names are so crazy and so orky that I just took them and sliced them up into some of them. Because some of the names are like Gorkrieg, but Garbutt, that's literally off the back of a dude's jersey.
Really?
Yeah, and just kind of ran with them. Funny story, actually. I got Weird Al Yankovic had a signing, and I got him to sign one of the looted Orgasmatron CDs for everybody in the band. And when I was telling him the names when he was signing it, he actually looked up at me when he was reading. He says Brock Garbutt, and Weird Al Yankovic thought something we did was weird, and I think that's a high point for me.
That
he just gives me this look like
the fact that you got a quizzical look from Weird Al.
You're
that
like, what?
That is, you've done something right.
I would like to think so. Yeah, I'll call that a right move right there. So
that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I mean, is there anything else you want to say? I mean, we'll promote your stuff before we go, cool. But I think I've kind of gone through a bunch of my questions.
Sure. We have everything you see here, including this really cool T-shirt that fell off the back.
Oh no!
No, it's right here.
Okay. I was like, we totally have this prepared.
That's this T-shirt here.
Ooh, and that's all the band members.
All the band members, and then catchy phrase on the back: "Brutal killers, massive posers." And got everything for sale up on eBay. We're also on Spotify, so you can stream all of our stuff on Spotify.
Cool.
And then CD Baby we go through, so they put everything up on YouTube as well. We have 2 animated videos that we did off of Live from the Boot. One for Here We Go, which features the Boot, Space Hulk, and the Red Button, also animated. And we recently
those are the ones I've actually seen.
You seen those? Okay.
Yep.
Have you seen Orc Rockstar yet?
I don't think I went through a bunch of them. They were on a playlist, so I probably did go through it.
That is live. So that's we're actually in our costumes, and my son's featured as the Grot, playing cowbell. So we got those all up on YouTube, and we also have a Reverb Nation page, which the song, besides getting them on vinyl for Blood Bowl and Gargant Stomp, those 2 songs are available for download at our Reverb Nation page. And
that's kind of that. We'll make sure to I will hopefully remember to put the links to all of that in the video description. If you want to send me an email on that,
Absolutely.
then I can definitely hook that up. So you guys at home can check out any of those links. If you are interested in any of this fantastic stuff, make sure to look up those couple of animated videos on YouTube. They are a lot of fun. And yeah, that's
all right.
That's kind of been this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, we try to, whenever opportunities like this, we did it with Firelock Games and now with the Gof Rockerz. I hope you guys have been enjoying this and just bringing in some different style content that, you know, while we have these great opportunities, I definitely want to take. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, happy wargaming.